All right, y'all, let's make some White Castle sliders. What you're gonna need is some ground beef, some hamburger dill chips of pickles, minced onion, salt, pepper, cheese, and some dinner rolls. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first step to our White Castle burgers is you have to freeze your burgers. So we have to make this into a flat surface so that we can make squares out of it. So I have the meat sitting on parchment paper. I have another piece of parchment paper that I'm just gonna lay right on top of the meat, like that. And what I'm gonna do is take my rolling pin and I'm gonna flatten out the meat. You want it to get as even as possible. It's gonna move around on you. Don't worry. Patience is key. I'm just gonna flatten it out. And then once I get it flattened, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So let's go. Okay, so I have all of the meat flattened. It's so big right now, so I have to pull it out the frame. But no worries. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do next. We are going to just pretty it up a little bit. See how these edges are really jagged? We're just gonna take my bench scraper and we're just gonna cut off the edges so it's a lot more pretty and we can make our squares. So I'm gonna work on this. And don't worry guys, I'm not wasting this extra meat that's over here to the side. I'm going to roll that out again and try to make some more. But for now, we're gonna just focus on this beautiful square that I have right now. And so we want all of the burgers to kind of be even. So I'm just gonna make markers right now. So judging by your buns, you wanna kind of make it a little bit bigger than the buns, because when the meat expands, when the meat cooks, it's going to shrink. So just make it a little bit bigger than the buns so that when it shrinks, it's going to fit on the roll. So I'm just making a perforated edge for it. And then I'm gonna work on doing this one. If they all are not the same size, it's okay, because we're not perfect. And remember, White Castle manufactures their burgers, so they have all the measurements all ready to go. So that's why theirs look perfect, but it's okay if ours do not. So I'm gonna work on cutting this, and then all right, I have that completed. Now we're gonna work on doing this side. All right, in order to ensure that I'm making big enough holes, I'm using a disposable chopstick because this is pretty big on the end, but use whatever you have. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make holes in the middle. You wanna press all the way down, making sure that you create a hole. So I'm gonna create a hole in all of the patties. All right. I have my center hole in all of the patties. Now we're gonna make it look like a dice, like the number 5 on the dice. So we're gonna put a hole right here, a hole right here, a hole right here, and a hole right here. And we're gonna do that for all of the patties. So All right, so I have created all of my patties. I put the holes in them. Now we're going to transfer this onto a baking sheet or just a hard surface, and we're going to place it in the freezer to make sure that they are frozen. It can take 3 to 4 hours. Me personally, I'm going to do it overnight, and then I'm going to pull them out the freezer, and I will see you guys back at the grill. All right, so first things first, while we have our burgers in the freezer, we are going to work on our minced onion. That is the secret ingredient for all White Castle burgers, the minced onion. So what you want to do is take your minced onion, the amount that you need for however many burgers you're making. I'm only making 10 burgers, so I need a lot, but not a lot. All right, because they're going to expand, so I have that much in the cup. I might need a little bit more. There we go. And I have some warm water that I'm just going to go ahead and pour inside the cup because I want them to hydrate. So they're dehydrated onions right now. That's where minced onions come from. Dehydrated onions. But we're going to hydrate them so that they are hydrated onions, and then they'll look just like the onions that you see at White Castle. This smells so good. I love the smell of minced onion. So I'm gonna let this sit here for about 30 minutes while it soaks up the water, and then we're gonna start cooking our burgers. All right, so I have my grill heating. I have my onions. This time, you know what, guys? I said I was gonna make a lot more, but right now we're not that hungry, so I'm only gonna make 6 burgers, but make as much burgers as you want. It's the same process. So what I'm gonna do is just take my minced onions, and I'm going to spread them across the grill. You want to put it in a ratio to how many burgers you're making. So I know I'm making 6, so I'm probably going to do 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So I'm just creating a bed of onions for my burgers. Just so that I'm not wasting my onions. And you want to create as much water and moisture as possible. However, if your grill dries out for some reason, just pour some more water on it. If mine does that, you'll see me do it. So it's not the end of the world. So I am going to take my beef patties that I have broken up after freezing them, and I'm just going to set them on the bed of onions. And I'm going to tell you the trick. So these holes inside the patties, they allow for the patty to steam, which is why you never have to flip a White Castle burger when cooking it. You never have to do that because these holes allow for steaming. And then shortly in our process, once this starts turning a little bit brown, that's when we're going to add our buns. So it's going to cover the top of the burger, and then it's going to like stick the steam in. So it's going to compact all of the steam in there, and it's going to continue to cook. So right now we just have our burgers on there, nothing fancy. I am going to season the burgers just a little bit with some sea salt and just some plain black pepper. Black pepper is right here. I'm just going to go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit on there. And then I have my sea salt. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that on here. And we're just going to let these burgers cook up. Once they're about 3/4 of the way done, that's when we're at our buns. So I'm just going to pour some more water in there. And you want to do this before you actually put your buns on, just because you don't want your buns to be soggy. But see, I'm just creating some more moisture. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to take away the flavor. You just want to make sure that it has enough so it can steam. Alright, so here at the point to where our burgers are pretty much almost done. We just want to clean up these little red spots, and how we're going to do that is just by adding in our bottom buns to help it steam. Just going to put the bottom buns on the bottom. Like I said, that's just to help it steam, and it's going to steam the buns at the same time. This one is a little small, but remember, we did this by hand. We're making this at home, so they're not going to be perfect, but it's still going to be good. So now I'm going to take my top buns. I'm just going to add them on the process as well, because you want those to steam. This is all I'm doing. We're going to let that be on there for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're going to take it off. And that's when you can add your cheese, your pickles, whatever toppings you like. That is when you do that. So let's go. All right, our burger should be done. So look at them. Yep, that one's complete. I'm just adding the cheese as I take them off of the skillet. This one is complete. And voila, we are finished. I went ahead and added the cheese to my burgers. Paired it with some fries. Looks just like White Castle's. Tastes just like White Castle's. And this is so good. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And let me know how you like it. Bon appetit.